You're watching Spotlight, and joining me now from the Dupage Foundation is Dave McGowan. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thanks, Jane. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. And let's talk about the Dupage Foundation and the impact that it's had in Dupage County.
Well, 35 years of managing philanthropic dollars on behalf of Dupage County residents, and it depends on how people interact with us. We've gone from anywhere from helping people with unrestricted gifts through us to our general endowment, all the way to very restricted gifts, specific causes or specific organizations. And then with that, we then make grants, help donors, lead initiatives that enable change in Dupage and to raise the quality of life for all the residents of Dupage County.
It's really, I'm always so impressed. I mean, it's, kind of that whole idea of, more raises the boat for everybody. And you really come at it in a lot of different ways, right, with the foundation. I mean, just as you mentioned, you've got grants, you help donor advised funds, and you do stuff just yourself as a foundation. Say a little bit more about those different avenues, if you would, for maybe somebody who isn't as familiar with the role that a community foundation plays.
Yes, I guess the grant making is a presumed role, but people might not know that we actually lead on areas of interest as well. Our early childhood kindergarten readiness program, our Bright and Early Dupage, which is running collaboratives throughout Dupage County to make sure that children are ready for school, because we know that when everybody starts off school at a good level, they will be successful students and successful adults. It's one of the best investments we could make in our community. We also have the Arts Dupage initiative, which celebrates the arts and artists, arts organizations, and provides access to people to enjoy all the great arts offerings we have in Dupage County.
Yeah, I mean, you've really spearheaded a lot of stuff across the county. And so you've celebrated this 35th anniversary, which is, first, congratulations, that's a big anniversary. Talk about the impact you think, Dave, you've had on the county during that time.
Well, we've grown our endowment to $125 million in charitable assets under management and have made grants totaling $60 million, with half of that having been granted in just the last 4 years alone. Wow. So there's a real trajectory here of people supporting us and supporting the kind of grant making that we're doing. I would say that we have, for example, we were the organization that enabled, through grant making and leadership, a financial literacy program which is now housed at a not-for-profit called Home Dupage. And all the clients of area not-for-profits can go there to learn about financial literacy so that they can be more successful in budgeting and planning. And we feel really good that we were instrumental in gathering donors and the not-for-profits and other organizations together to make something like that happen.
Yeah, well, you really, I mean, the nice thing is you kind of have this view across the county, right, as to maybe what some of the needs are that, a lot of individual not-for-profits have got their own areas of concentration, but you really sort of sit a little bit atop of that with a different view.
That's right. We fund in health, human services, arts, education, environment, animal welfare, in 30-some distinct communities that aren't always connected naturally. And so through philanthropy, we can connect organizations with donors, organizations to each other who are working in similar areas, and many times that connection is what has advanced some of those areas of interest.
Yeah, you're a little bit like glue, right? Kind of bringing things together.
Bringing people together. At the top level of a community foundation, it's connecting donors to the needs in the community. At all those other layers, it's connecting organizations, connecting, and all of us that get on staff or on boards or the committee of a community foundation, we're the ultimate connectors. It really gives us joy to do that.
Yeah. So talk, kind of building on that point, how does the foundation connect a donor? What is the steps? How does somebody give through the foundation, if you will, if you wanted to donate?
Sure. They might be referred through their professional advisor, an attorney or a financial planner, or through an existing fund holder of the foundation. When they reach out to us, we try to help them craft their charitable plan and find if there's a way that they would intersect with us, or if we can guide them directly to a not-for-profit to give directly or with other organizations. And so we will find out, do they want to give to our general endowment for us to make grants? A field of interest where we still do the grant making, but they put some parameters around, like seniors, hunger, whatever that might be, the donor advised giving, or then again, specific restricted funds for specific organizations. So in that $125 million in charitable assets, donors access us in all different ways along that continuum of restriction of interest.
Okay, so very customizable. I mean,
Very
you know,
customizable.
that's the word. If you know that you want to be philanthropic and you want it in DuPage County, you can customize ways for that to take place for them.
That's right. And even if a donor doesn't work directly with us, but we've guided them to something, I would say that there's no better place to help an individual or family decide to whom, when, how much, and with what assets than the Dupage Foundation.
Okay, I like that. Talk a little bit, because you know we chatted a little bit during COVID, and obviously that's impacted everybody on the planet, and has really hit hard at some of our not-for-profits. Talk a little bit about your COVID response fund.
Sure. March 19 of 2020, we had a board meeting and talked about what role we might be able to play. By the end of the meeting, the board green-lighted our starting this COVID-19 response fund. We went out to the donor community, received some significant lead gifts, which validated that there would be a interest. We went then and broadened our scope and received gifts from throughout the community. We ended up raising $1.8 million and granted that out within, the first grants went out weeks after we started the fund. We completed the grant making within months, granted everything, 99% of the funds raised. We took just a small fee to administer the fund. And those not-for-profits were so grateful, because in many cases that was what kept them going during the pandemic. It was a real sense of pride for us to be able to have played that role. I will tell you selfishly, it was so satisfying to be able to have something to focus on during those challenging times, to know that we were going to be able to do something so meaningful. So while we were an endowment by mission, this was our opportunity to raise funds and get them out as quickly as we could to help the not-for-profits, which ultimately then helped all the families.
Yeah, absolutely. Both short-term and long-term, and short-term for this particular one, but that sows the seeds for long-term for those organizations, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. As we wrap up, Dave, are there other ways that people can get involved with the foundation?
Sure. We're always looking for trustees for our board, committee members from the community to help serve on the committees that advise the board, office volunteers, advocates, just champions for philanthropy in DuPage. If anybody's interested, they can reach out to the foundation through our website. We'd be happy to contact them and find out what their interests are, and they can help us. We might be able to help them.
Okay, I love that. Well, listen, as always, so nice to chat with you and have you stop by.
Thank you so much, Jane.
You're welcome. And if you are interested in learning more about the Dupage Foundation, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back with more Spotlight.